Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Madeline and I'm excited to dive into today's topic, contemporary pop culture and its influence on society. Pop culture is everywhere, from music and movies to social media trends. Personally, I think it's fascinating how it shapes our values, even in our behavior. Let's talk about it. Mom, can you explain more about how pop culture influences us today?
Absolutely, Evelyn. Pop culture, especially through social media, has a huge impact on what we value and how we see the world. For example, viral challenges can create a sense of global community, but also pressure people to conform. Think about how memes spread ideas quickly, or how influencers shape our views on beauty and lifestyle. They can promote positive messages or sometimes unrealistic expectations.
That makes sense, but how do these trends start?
Trends often start with a few influential people or viral content. Social media algorithms amplify what's popular, making it spread faster. For instance, a catchy song on TikTok can become a global hit in days because people keep sharing and using it in their own videos.
I see. So it's a lot about what catches people's attention and how quickly it spreads.
I think pop culture is really important because it influences so many aspects of our lives, especially for young people like me. It shapes our interests, our identities, and even our social circles. Mom, would you agree?
Definitely, Evelyn. Pop culture can help people find common ground and build connections, but it's also important to be aware of its power. It can influence our opinions and behaviors in both positive and negative ways. It's crucial to approach it with a critical mind and not just follow trends blindly.
For me, pop culture is a way to stay connected with friends and discover new things. I love following trends on TikTok and Instagram. Last month, there was this art challenge where you recreate famous paintings with household items. It was so much fun to see everyone's creativity.
That sounds exciting, Evelyn. When I was younger, it was mostly TV shows and music videos that influenced us. I remember when MTV was all the rage. It introduced us to different music styles and fashion trends. I used to watch TRL and see all the latest music videos. It was a huge part of our social lives.
It's cool to think how much things have changed. It's so instant now with streaming and social media.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how it was even further back. Mom, how did pop culture influence you when you were younger? What were some of the trends, and how did you experience them?
Good question, Maya. In the 1980s, pop culture for me was heavily influenced by TV, radio, and movies. We didn't have the instant access you do now. We relied on TV shows, movies, and radio to keep up with trends. I remember gathering around the TV to watch popular shows or listen to the radio for the latest hits. The impact of music videos was huge. Michael Jackson's Thriller was a major event. It shaped music and fashion trends significantly.
In my youth, during the 1950s and 60s, pop culture was slower to spread and more localized. We had radio shows and movies were a big deal. Elvis Presley and the Beatles were incredibly influential, and we'd go to record stores to buy their albums. The 1960s were a time of great change, with music reflecting the social movements of the time, like the civil rights movement. We didn't have the internet, so trends took longer to spread.
That's interesting, Mom. It's amazing how technology has changed the way we experience pop culture.
Yes, it has. I can only imagine how different it would have been to have instant access to music, news, and trends like you do today. Reflecting on the differences, I think if we had the internet back then, it would have changed everything. For instance, The way the Beatles' music spread worldwide through concerts and TV appearances might have been even faster with social media. We would have been able to follow their lives and music instantly, not just through newspapers and TV specials.
Exactly, Mom. If we had today's technology in the 80s, the impact of music videos and movies would have been amplified even more. Imagine streaming Michael Jackson's latest video instantly instead of waiting for it to come on TV.
Grandma, Mom, I think it's incredible how trends from your time have influenced what we see today. Some things never really go out of style. They just come back in different forms.
That's true, Maya. Fashion and music seem to go through cycles. What's considered retro now was once the cutting edge of style.
Exactly. Evelyn, do you have any questions about what Grandma or Great-Grandma mentioned? Sometimes the past can seem so distant, but it's fascinating to see the connections.
Yeah, Mom, Great-Grandma, Grandma, I'm curious about how you dealt with not having instant information. Today, if I want to know something, I just Google it or watch a YouTube video. How did you find out about new trends and stay up to date?
That's a good point, Evelyn. It wasn't as immediate, so we relied a lot on magazines, TV shows, and word of mouth. We wait eagerly for the latest issue of a fashion magazine or the next episode of a favorite show.
And before TV was widespread, we relied on radio shows, newspapers, and the occasional movie reel. It was slower, but it made every new trend or piece of information feel more special because we had to wait for it.
That must have required a lot of patience. I can't imagine waiting for weeks to learn about something new. How did you all handle that?
It was just the way things were. We didn't know anything different, so it didn't feel like we were missing out. We enjoyed the anticipation.
Absolutely. Waiting made us appreciate things more, I think. The excitement of finally getting the latest record or seeing a new movie was part of the fun. I think the immediacy of today's pop culture is both a pro and a con. It's great that information and entertainment are so accessible, but it can also lead to shorter attention spans and less appreciation for the anticipation we had.
I agree, Mom. The constant influx of new trends can be exhausting, and it sometimes feels like there's no time to really enjoy something before moving on to the next thing. But it also allows for more diverse voices and ideas to be heard.
I think we can manage the drawbacks by being more mindful about the content we consume and taking breaks from constant media. It's also important to have discussions like these to reflect on the impact of pop culture.
And we can appreciate the advantages by using pop culture to stay informed and connected. It's about finding a balance between being engaged and not being overwhelmed.
True, it's all about balance and understanding the influences in our lives. In the past, we didn't have this constant flow, so we had more time to reflect. Today, it's about being intentional with how we engage with pop culture.
To wrap up, we've talked about how contemporary pop culture influences us, from its rapid spread through social media to its impact on our daily lives. We've shared personal experiences from different generations, showing how pop culture has evolved. Thank you, Great-Grandma, Grandma, and Mom, for your insights. It's been enlightening to see how each of you experienced pop culture differently. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on contemporary pop culture. Stay curious and see you next time.